I'm here in the parking lot of LCC Shopping Mall, which is where the Land Transportation Office is also located. It is 2 minutes past 11 o'clock in the morning of June 27, and I have the previous registration papers of my car with me. Her name is Pilita. And I'm here because your registration is due for a renewal this month. The first step is to get a new private CTPL insurance that is good for 1 year. CTPL means compulsory third-party liability car insurance, and after I got that from inside that office over there, the staff gave me this set of papers for the next step. The CTPL insurance is stapled underneath the set of papers, and it cost 800 pesos. The next step is the emission test, which is just around the corner. It requires a separate payment, and I paid 450 pesos for it. I did not have to wait for long because they placed me on the priority list because I'm a person with disability. So after maybe 10 to 15 or maybe 20 minutes, it was my turn to bring my car close to the emission testing machine. However, the staff at the emissions noticed that the license plates were still the temporary version on Pilita, and I told them that this is because the dealer hasn't sent me yet the permanent plates, despite my request that they send it to me via private courier. So I was advised to request for an authorization to continue using the temporary plates. So I went inside the office where the authorization can be issued. I had to wait several minutes, but while waiting, let me just show you that I have been using a smaller bag these days because my large duffel, the Kipling one, which I showed in some previous videos before, that one just was not comfortable or easy anymore, and I don't even use half of the things that I bring around in that bag. I did explain in a video shorts why I bring around so much stuff, but that reason no longer exists. So I thought it was time to try a smaller bag. This bag is okay. I did not buy this. It is a hand-me-down Rebecca Minkoff. The size is just right, and I found that if a bag is smaller and so it contains less stuff, we don't really need a bag organizer for it because it is not that difficult to find things inside it. I might talk about it in another video, but for now it is time to go back to emissions because I already got my authorization. And there is my little Pilita patiently waiting for me to come back. The emission testing requires a device to be inserted into the exhaust pipe of the car, and the purpose is to see if the emission of the car is within legal limits. If a vehicle turns out to be a smoke belcher, that vehicle will be rejected for registration. And I passed, as I should, because Pilita is not a smoke belcher. She is a clean girl. The emissions testing center then gave me some additional documents stapled to my original set, and then I went to the next step, which was inspection, which also turned out to be quick. They did have a checklist, and they just made sure that I was compliant with everything, and then they approved me to proceed to the actual renewal of the registration back to the LTO office over there. I had to drive back to this parking lot, and I do have to hurry because it was going to rain. We had super heavy rain yesterday. There was some flooding, and rains are in the forecast for this day as well. My checklist got a little bit wet from the raindrops, but this will be all right. Inside the LTO office, they gave me this queuing number. Pink is for the priority lane, so they process things faster for us. It is not very crowded on this day. It is almost the end of the month, and people might have already been done with their registration renewals earlier this month. Another reason might be that because heavy rains were in the forecast, people might have just decided not to go out today at all. Just several minutes after I paused from filming, the power went out, but it came back shortly. The final step was to give my payment to the cashier for the actual registration renewal. I paid 1,810 pesos for the registration renewal, and here it is. This is my actual registration sheet for Pilita. This is really just a printout on ordinary office paper. They have been giving out this kind of registration paper since about 2021, I think, or 2020. After the Land Transportation Office, I did have to take a quick side trip to the post office because I wanted to ask them the requirements for renewing my postal ID, which had already expired without my noticing. And also to ask how much would the mailing cost be if I mailed this entire pouch of stickers to someone in different countries, like in the US, Australia, or countries in Europe, etc., because I wanted to give all of these stickers away in a giveaway on my YouTube channel. However, I found out straight from the post office that the cheapest shipping to the nearest country outside of Southeast Asia, which is Australia, will cost almost $60 US. It was already 1:30 p.m. and I was getting hungry, so it was nice to come home to a lunch that was already prepared for me.